Sign of a one-sided relationship. Hi, my name is Jyotika Bedi. I'm the founder of Happiness is Love. A one-sided relationship is characterized by one person investing more energy, time, and effort into making the relationship work. In this imbalanced dynamic, one person puts in more time and more effort or has less control. The problem with one-sided relationships is that it can be draining mentally, emotionally, and challenging to sustain over a long haul. Have you experienced this before? This can be contrasted with healthy relationships characterized by mutual respect, mutual trust, and commitment. And while one-sided relationships don't necessarily mean one person is being taken advantage of, they often indicate a problem in communication or problem in compatibility between two people. It's possible that one partner may not feel as strongly about the relationship as the other, or maybe one party isn't sure exactly how they feel about it yet. In this video, we will discuss what are the characteristics, what are the attributes of one-sided relationships, which causes them, and what you should do if you find yourself in this type of a relationship. We are here for you because at Happiness is Love, we truly care and we want you to have happy, healthy relationships. So again, what is a one-sided relationship? A one-sided relationship can be defined as an imbalanced interpersonal relationship where one person is investing more time, where one person yields more control. This imbalance can be one of many factors, such as one person being more committed or more interested in the relationship than the other. In a one-sided relationship, one person is doing more of the work to keep the relationship together, whether it is financially, physically, mentally, or emotionally. In a romantic relationship, this might involve one person initiating most of the communication, initiating most of the planning, most of the shared activities, or taking care of most of the duties that the couple should share equally. What are some of the signs of a one-sided relationship, you might be wondering? One-sided relationships can come in a variety of shapes and forms. It might involve your relationship with your partner, but it can also involve other interpersonal relationships, including those with parents, with friends, maybe even co-workers. So some of the signs of a one-sided relationship to watch out for may include the following, which we have curated for you. Initiating a vast majority of activities and communication, like I shared. The other person is rarely the one to reach out and make first contact. Instead, you are expected to start nearly every conversation, initiate almost all interactions, and play a significant majority of what you do together. Having to make most of the major decisions or most relationship decisions on your own. The other person might tell you that they don't care either way, or they may simply shrug off the responsibility of making important choices, making important decisions altogether. Either way, you're the one carrying the weight of the major choices on your back with minimal input or investment from the other person. And this can be very, very draining, and I know this is very hard. Being the one who has to apologize. After a conflict or argument, the other person rarely reaches out to take full responsibility and ownership of their own actions, their own behaviors, to make amends for the harm they may have done. They take very little or no responsibility or accountability. Instead, you are usually the one to say that you are sorry in order to just move past the problem. So you are the one who's forever bearing the burden. Sacrificing everything to make the other person happy all the time. You might feel like you have to ignore your own wants, your own needs, because you're just too busy holding up the relationship just by yourself. And this can be very, very exhausting mentally and emotionally. Feelings of insecurity and not really knowing where you stand. When the other person doesn't seem to care too much or doesn't put in the kind of conscious effort that you put in the relationship, it leaves you doubting their intentions. It leaves you doubting whether they're really committed and their investment in the relationship. Sometimes poor and unhealthy communication also impacts this. You might feel like they don't listen, they don't care enough, or they don't really understand what you mean when you do talk. When you do communicate, you feel unsatisfied and unfulfilled. There is an imbalanced financial contributions. You are the one who has to pay for all of your shared expenses, and in many cases, they expect you to pick up the tab for their financial obligations almost always. This can again be a big burden on you. Making excuses. You find yourself often making excuses for why the other person isn't really contributing to the relationship. You keep justifying. The other person is frequently having a bad day or dealing with stress that prevents them from showing up for you while you are the one who's always showing up for them. In a one-sided relationship, one partner leads almost every aspect of the relationship. This includes what activities you engage in together and when these activities take place. This can also be seen in friendships or between people who are dating. Because of this very imbalance, the person doing all the work often feels very, very resentful and burdened, which can be emotionally and physically exhausting, like I just shared. If you think your relationship may be one-sided, it's very important to look at whether or not both parties are equally invested in the relationship. I've been married for almost 21 years, and this is what I believe in. What is the impact of one-sided relationship? One-sided relationships can be extremely toxic sometimes, particularly if one person is unintentionally taking advantage of the other person. Some of the damaging effects of this type of relationships include the following: increased stress levels. The stress of being in this type of relationship can take a toll on both your physical and your mental health. While healthy relationships, and this is very important to note, while healthy relationships can act as protective buffers against stress, research has also found that some relationships create so much distress and stress and have a negative impact on our overall well-being and health. Sleep issues, it impacts our sleep, anxiety, depression, and decreased immunity are just a few of potentially detrimental impacts of excessive relationship stress. Feelings of loneliness. In addition to the stress of doing the majority of the work in the relationship, the lack of mutual effort and commitment can leave one feeling isolated and even lonely. You might feel like you can't really talk to the other person about the problems that you are dealing with because you're forever taking care of them and their needs, and you're not able to express how you truly feel. This leads to decreased self-esteem also. The constant disappointment you experience in this one-sided relationship can leave you feeling rejected, unsupported, and even unloved. This can make it hard to feel confident and secure even in yourself. So again, how to really change a one-sided relationship? When it comes to changing a one-sided relationship, please understand both people need to be on the same page. Both need to be aligned and willing to do the work it takes to make a change. One-sided efforts will not reap results. Start by just being open and honest with yourself about the conversation you may be avoiding with your partner, and I want you to think of the why. Why are you doing that? In one-sided relationship, those options translate to ways to change the relationship. Make it more balanced or leave it, or to accept the relationship for what it is. For example, by changing expectations. But this cannot happen without you communicating, because the magic that you're looking for in your relationship is in you communicating your needs. Try asking yourself questions about your relationship. For example, is this person consistent in their behavior across all of their relationships? Or is it this one-sided behavior in the relationship just specific to me? Is this a person who you feel comfortable and safe sharing your needs, your wants, and your feelings? How do they receive your feedback? Sometimes one-sided relationships stem from a lack of healthy communication and clarity about our own expectations, hopes, and dreams, and desires and feelings. Assess what you are giving to the relationship and what you are receiving. What you are receiving and what you're not receiving, actually. What you would like to receive and what are your boundaries around what you can and cannot accept. That this is very important for you to check in with yourself. It's important to have an honest and open conversation with your partner, without which you will not achieve anything. Honest conversations about your feelings, your needs, your boundaries, request specific changes or greater consideration, recognizing your requests may or may not be met and you cannot change the other person, but yes, you have to focus on communicating what you want. Change your behavior. Adjusting your behaviors can also play an important role in shifting the balance of your relationship. Trying to change the imbalance in a relationship through our own behaviors may include changing our behaviors to those that are better aligned with our own values. The part of this you can include not taking on too many tasks that you think should be shared by both people in the relationship. So instead of overburdening yourself, start saying no, start setting those healthy boundaries. So if you think that the initiating communication should be shared equally, you're right, you can help shift the imbalance by not doing more than you usually do, so that you can also push your partner to do more. When to end a one-sided relationship? Ending a relationship can often be challenging and hurtful, but eventually you may reach your breaking point or recognize that the other person is just not willing to put in the kind of effort to contribute to the health of the relationship in an acceptable way. Some signs that it might take time to end a one-sided relationship may include the following. When the other person is stonewalling, even though you have made reasonable requests about what they are bringing to the relationship, they are stonewalling you, they are ignoring you, they're being passive aggressive. If you have communicated your concerns and needs and they still refuse to acknowledge your requests, if they are gaslighting you in order to make you think that what you are experiencing is all in your head, or that this type of relationship behavior is normal. These are some of the signs to look out for. Because of the very nature of a one-sided relationship, attempts to end the relationship might be met with a lot of resistance. Once the non-contributing person realizes that their source of support is leaving, this can be very, very difficult to handle. Remind yourself about the reasons why you are leaving and find support from friends, family, and a coach. Which of these points that I've shared with you resonate most with you? There is no change without taking action, and I know it's difficult. Do it scared, but do it still. And we at Happiness is Love are here for you because we truly care about your health, your happiness, and your relationships. And if you're struggling with any aspect of your life, whether at home or at work, we are here for you because we truly care. Till then, stay tuned for more. Keep smiling, keep shining, and keep growing.